Got bad knees? Are you afraid to squat because of knee pain? Well, today I'm going to teach you 5 bodyweight squat form hacks that can help you eliminate or fix knee pain when squatting. Let's get to it. All right, so first off is changing the position of your feet. Now this is especially important with myself because back in my days of gymnastics, I actually tore the ligaments in my right knee, and that's what forced me to quit gymnastics. And on top of that, about 6 years ago, I was on a half pipe skateboarding, fell, completely blew out my ankle. It was nasty. And I still have trouble with this, but the thing is that's perfectly fine because I work with what I have. So what I do is, instead of trying to think that this foot needs to face in this direction the whole time, I just get into a comfortable position. Now you'll notice that this foot turns out a little bit more than this foot. It's totally fine. The thing is like I mentioned earlier, I work with what I have, where I am. And yes, I do try and increase the range of motion when I can, but it's okay if you turn your feet out just a little bit, or if one turns in and the other turns out like they are right now. Find what's going to work for you. Do that. Hey, it's totally fine. So depending upon what is specifically more irritable in your knees or ankles, in my case, you might find squats more comfortable with your toes angled either in or out. Experiment with this, and with a bit of trial and error, you'll find the best angle for you. And that's the most important thing. And don't listen to someone who says it has to be at a certain angle all the time for any knee or ankle conditions. So next up is taking a look at a narrower or wider foot stance in terms of your squat. A narrower stance may be better for medial on the inside knee issues, as this is less of a strain on adductor growing muscles. A wider stance may change the overall stress on the knees by emphasizing the hip's contribution to that. So remember, if you have sensitive and painful knees, this will absolutely affect how you approach squatting. Now you could avoid squatting totally, and that might be the case if you have acute pain. But in my opinion, I don't feel that is a very good long-term solution. And I don't think that you should remove such a fundamental movement from your life if you can help it. Now your squat doesn't have to look like the fitness model, and the thing is it probably won't. And the reason why is because we all have different proportions of our body. The length of your legs and torso and their ratio to each other, your knees, hips, knee range of motion, your hip, knee, ankle strength, it's all different. So number 3 is torso angle. And depending on this angle, it's going to allow us to take a bit of the stress off of our knees or further load the structure by either bringing our torso forward or bringing our chest up. And the shift of adding or lessening the load and stress to your hips will allow you to do more with your knees. And removing some of that load and stress at your knees is a great way to improve your tolerance for squat. Basically being able to sit in that position for longer periods of time. And remember, you still need to address any mobility restrictions. So check the description for the link to my squat mobility routine. For number 4, we have weight distribution. And this is looking at how much we load either the toes, the heels, or right in between. Now the general advice is an even weight distribution throughout your foot, but you may find you can tolerate squatting better when your weight is shifted more in one direction than the other. So play around with this and see what works best for you. Now next up is depth. And in order to alleviate that knee or ankle pain, it can simply be a matter of not squatting as low as you could go. Find the depth where it begins to irritate your knees. Remember that and be right on the edge of it. And over time, with patience, you'll likely see that gradually improve. Don't force it. Let it happen naturally. So to recap, first point is foot position. You can have the toes turned in or out. Find a position that's good for you. Number 2 is foot width. Going either with a narrow or wider stance that's going to allow you to comfortably get into the squat. Torso angle. Adjust the angle to take off a bit of the stress and load on your knees. Number 4 is weight distribution. Bringing the pressure either to your toes, back onto your heels, or even mid-foot. And number 5 is adjusting the depth of your squat by not squatting down so low. Get comfortable in this position, and gradually over time, you will find your squat improving. Okay, give these a try and leave a comment below letting me know which one of these has helped you the most.